Hey everybody, welcome back. It's been a long time since your last Zero League match. You had an entire week off to relax and recuperate, but we are back. It is week 6. This is the first game of week 6, and we're glad that you decided to share it with us. As always, I'd like to thank my 2 subscribers on Twitch. We've got Dana Maddle and Surmi. Thank you both. And today's match is Noot versus the Chengdu Chads. I guess on this overlay I have them flipped. But in game we have Noot versus Chengdu Chads. We're currently getting the teams sorted up at the moment as we decide who gets to go into which slot. Get the ball rolling once again. And on the Chengdu Chads, I guess I should introduce the casters. It's been a long week for me too. My name is Abacus, and with me is Acronator.
Hello. I am getting all the teams set up, so I might be a little bit quiet.
Yep, sounds totally good. At the moment, are the proper players in the proper slots? Is it time to do a rundown of who's on who?
Still trying to figure out what Noot wants for their lineup.
Right. Yeah. No, we're making some decisions. Team has to make some decisions too. When we end up doing the coin flip, they get to whoever wins the coin flip gets to choose which map they want to head to. Their options, like last time, we're going to do a control map first, and the 2 control maps they get to choose from are 2 of my favorite maps in the entire game. We've got Ilios and Nepal, and I'm serious. I really love these 2 maps. So it's going to be. I don't care which one they end up going to. I suppose if I had to choose between those 2 options, I would personally go with Ilios. And I think Noot is probably, if Noot gets the coin flip, I can imagine that they would like to go to Ilios because they have some very good support players on their teams. And a lot of the meta support players at the moment, like Brigitte and Lucio, have boops and environmental pits. And while there is one map on Nepal with environmental pits, of course, Sanctum, I believe that there has to be more environmental pits on Ilios. But that being said, it's totally possible that Chengdu would like to go to Ilios instead. And Chengdu has their work cut out for them for this current match. They are currently in last place due to some unfortunate circumstances involving sorting out their roster issues. But there is a silver lining to that cloud in that you never really know what you're going to get when you go up against the Chengdu Chads. They could go any which way in a particular combat. Because you won't be 100% sure who they've picked, what skills those players have, what their specialties are. So you're going to have to really be flexible when playing the Chengdu Chads, and we're going to see if Noot is prepared to handle that.
Definitely. And Noot did win the coin flip, and they chose Ilios as their first map. We're just waiting for confirmation.
That's what I'm talking about.
Chengdu Chads are all set. Noot still waiting for confirmation from them.
Ooh.
Now, it is worth noting that Noot is missing their star main support, Basilisk. He is on a flight home at this point. He might be coming in, subbing in later this match, depending on how long it goes on. Personally, I'm not expecting this to go very far. It's probably going to be a quick 4-0 or 3-1 in favor of Noot. They are looking incredibly strong and on the up and up, as opposed to Chengdu, which, as stated previously, they've been having some unfortunate roster issues. This is probably the 5th different lineup they've had in the past 5 matches. So
wow,
let's see.
That can be difficult, but it's not always an insurmountable problem. I mean, all we have to do look at Overwatch Contenders. Second Wind is a team that has also gone through a bunch of different roster changes, but they've actually been one of the most commanding teams in Overwatch Contenders. I think on 2 separate occasions they lost a bunch of their players who graduated out of Contenders and into either academy teams or the Overwatch League, and then they just recovered from that. And while looking through the stats, I see both teams have a good Lucio on their team, Adam and Gambit. So if those 2 end up playing Lucio or if they end up playing something else, both teams are more than ready for the one map in Ilios that doesn't really have boops. There's boops. I mean, there's an entire bottomless pit right here, but, they're so far away from the point. You don't really see them that much on Ruins.
No. You really have to try to get a boop here, and it's usually with like a Roadhog, not so much a Lucio. It will be interesting to see how well Gambit performs in particular. He is a new pickup. I personally have never seen anything from him, but Noot was very quick to pick him up. Like, they picked him up within 2 minutes of him getting the free agent role. So
wow. Yeah,
it was very fast.
Yeah,
they were waiting.
That's crazy. No, they absolutely must see something there. So That is going to be very exciting to see what they end up doing. Both teams currently deciding what rosters they want to field. I'd say that Noot probably has the more interesting setup at the moment. Chengdu is basically goats. I know, right?
I want to see it so much.
What would you even call this comp? I guess 3D.
Yeah, triple DPS.
Yeah, okay. Classic. And look, I think they're doing it. I think we're getting the triple DPS of all things. Exciting. And so, yeah, Noot is pushing out with the triple DPS, though they are not the quickest to get onto the point, and the Chengdu Chads are going to be the first ones to broach the point. Obviously, you can't capture the point just yet, but both teams are pushing in there. Neglect getting punished for pushing in there as Hammond. I mean, that's what you got to do.
Low. Nope.
Oh, man, it doesn't look like these triple DPSs are working out at the moment, and Chengdu is more likely than not going to be the first team to get some points on the clock.
And it looks like an immediate swap from Neglect, and yep, the rest of the team will likely follow suit if the OC will be swapping to the Zarya or sticking to the Sombra. Nope, okay, full goats.
It was a bold attempt, but that's problematic. I mean, they just switched to their opponent's comp, though they are a Reinhardt goats as opposed to a Winston goats. But having to go into this...
I would give Neglect the advantage over North here. North is KSG at a name change, same account.
Okay.
Neglect is a Season 1 champion, and he's explosive as a main tank. Easily one of the best 2 or 3 main tanks in the entire league.
Ooh, that sounds really exciting. Yeah, I look forward to seeing that. And they are pushing in there with the help of Neglect's Reinhardt, who does die for it, and didn't... Yeah, no, he gave his team the space, but there wasn't anywhere to capitalize on that. And the Chengdu Chads are once again going to send Noot back to spawn. Please try again. Look at these ults. We got 6 ults on 0. That is not what you want if you're Noot right now.
No. I think Noot needs to sort of get their bearings right now. They seem to be a little bit slow to start. However, this was the case during week 1, and they eventually made it a very close match. Let's hope that they can make it a little bit closer this time.
Yeah, when you gotta get 3 wins, there is more than enough time, even if they never touch this point on Ruins, to come back from that. And the very first ultimate is coming out. KSG on an ulting Winston, trying to knock someone off that pit. Oh, it is countered. Adam hits Neglect off the Ruins wall, and that is once again going to spawn. That's going to send Noot back to spawn. They had a decent chance there for a second, but look at this clock, 87%. Can they even they can get to the point, but just nothing they've tried has even remotely worked so far.
No, they definitely can touch, but they're going to need one heck of a fight to take this, let alone hold it.
Yeah, double rally coming out. Everybody's got armor. We should be seeing a long final team fight here as the overtime whip begins. Oh, that's true. Awesome. A lot of ultimates on the field. Ultimate advantage are still... Oh, dear. Oh, what a great counter by Adam's sound barrier to keep everyone alive. Committing the final support ult for the Chengdu Chads. And looks like that was what the doctor ordered. Did that? Oh my gosh, Ducky even ate D'Artagnan's Graviton. Wow. Well, that was very commanding from the Chengdu Chads. Everything Noot tried just got completely stepped on.
Oh, we actually do have one person from Noot coming in to spectate. He might be getting subbed in later. Sloth. He is actually not only a Season 1 champion, but the Season 1 MVP. So I would not be shocked to see him get played. I believe Jazza and Dart are both hit scan DPS, so I don't know if Noot is actually running with a projectile DPS at the moment. Sloth is a projectile DPS. I'm not sure who else they have as a projectile.
Huh. Maybe that was why they tried a 3 DPS comp, though they are not risking it this time. Actually, it's Chengdu Chads' turn to run 3 DPS into, or let me count.
Ooh,
okay, 2-2-2.
Zera on Pharah is an incredible combination here, so he's definitely a player to look out for.
And look out they are. They are trying to pepper him down with a bit of long-range spam, but it turns out Pharah is the king of that. And that is actually going to give Noot the first chance to push onto the point. They're going to be playing defense on this first team fight. Neglect fell again. I mean, it's really difficult to play Reinhardt on maps like Ilios, but he does seem to be dying an awful lot.
He is extremely aggressive, but it works if the team can follow up with him. So I'm personally going to be paying a lot more attention to the supports, especially Jazza with the armor pack on Brig, and see what they're doing to keep Neglect alive.
All right, yeah. Feel free to let me know how that ends up going. I'm usually expecting the DPS myself, but Jazza is currently trying to give everyone those armor packs. Looks like they're trying to cycle around from the second floor right into a Justice range from above, taking out Meta, the Zenyatta, and it looks like Noot is going to take that as a sign to push back, try to get some chip damage, build up some ultimates. Once again, the Chengdu Chads have more ultimates online, and the Noot, they don't have a single one up yet. And no. For the moment, whatever they're trying right now, it's not working. They probably want to find something to deal with this Pharah, because nobody... I mean, Goats doesn't really have anything to deal with Pharah, except possibly D.Va, and maybe Zenyatta?
Right now, they're not really taking that approach, though. They're just kind of trying to avoid it with positioning.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how well that's working for them.
I am, and it's not working at all. D.Va trying to give Zera some trouble. Didn't really succeed in doing so. Committing a sound barrier to start the round off, which means they won't have it in time for this ultimate. D.Va taking out Meta once again. All the ultimates coming out for Chengdu. And scoring all the kills they need as well. 72% on the clock. Absolutely nothing Noot has tried has even remotely worked at this point. And Chengdu is looking like they're about to just run away with this entire map.
Yeah, definitely. I think... it doesn't look like Noot prepared for this map, despite the fact that they chose it.
Yeah, maybe...
I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they didn't take Chengdu seriously. Like we said, Chengdu was in last place. Maybe they thought, it's like, you know, who prepares for the Washington Justice? They just like, oh, we'll just kind of coast in there and have no trouble. But that is not what's going on. The exact opposite is happening. Did they just double commit? Oh, no. So sound barrier coming out, keeping Chengdu alive still. And finally, some kills.
Yep, Noot's finally getting some life in them. They do take the... However, they have a long way to go and a long way to defend.
Yeah, no.
Chengdu really just needs one good fight.
Yeah, they're going to need to do the control version of a reverse sweep here in order to even have a chance of holding on to Ilias. Chengdu, for their part, they're about to have a bunch of ultimates online. Neglect actually, it looked like Neglect going Winston was what finally gave them the opening they needed to get something to happen, and he also has a Primal Rage ready for when this push inevitably comes in, which it appears it is doing right now, vaguely. Uh-oh.
Oh, Gambit.
Oh, that High Noon taking out Meta again. So Noot has had trouble defending Reinhardt, and they've had trouble defending Zenyatta. Though Korean, without any mobility tools, is almost certainly going into the drink. But look at how much control, how many people are on the point right now for Chengdu. Is anyone in a position to even contest this, nonetheless bust through these ults?
Nope.
No siree, Bob. So that was just a quick 2-0. Chengdu Chads. So I guess we aren't getting a 4-0 unless it's from Chengdu's side, and I could see it happening. That was a commanding presence from them.
I don't quite know how to dissect what I just saw, because Noot is better than this.
Yeah.
Like, they have the individual skill to put it together, and maybe they're just having more issues with getting people to scrims. Maybe they are suffering because they don't have Basilisk here or some of the players they want.
Yeah,
Regardless, I think we're going to have to wait and see the second map to see if they come alive anymore. If it becomes 0-2 for Noot, then it might be looking like another Chengdu win.
Wow, that's awesome. And yeah, that can definitely happen where you're missing a player. He's a star support player. I mean that actually kind of does explain a lot, because if you think about the way that this all went down, there were a lot of times where it felt like their tank thought he would have more support than he did. And the Reinhardt would just keep dying. Neglect. It's a very appropriate name for him at the moment, because his team is not doing enough to keep him alive, and he is playing too aggressively for them to keep him alive. So I do think that it's possible that missing players could be with. And you also mentioned that Neglect is relatively new, right? That he joined later than everyone else.
Yes, he is relatively new, or actually he might have been drafted, but he wasn't playing for a long time.
Okay. Yeah, so I think Noot just needs... They have a little bit of growing pains right now with their current with our current rosters. But that is not to say that Chengdu did not play extraordinary. On a number of occasions, the players on Chengdu would pull off these amazing moments. Ducky got play of the game and ate a graviton, a very important graviton on Ruins to give Chengdu, because it was right in that final push. Everybody on Noot was storming the point. The overtime had just happened. Ducky just eats that grav like nobody's business, and it just made the entire defense so much more successful. Adam had some very good sound barriers to keep everybody alive through Diva ults and Zarya ults. So I think in a lot of ways, Chengdu is showing a lot more cohesion and teamwork than Noot is at the moment, especially in the support area. And by support, I even mean like support tanks like Diva, whose job is to like negate damage. So Noot, to their end, gets to choose what map we go to next. Their options were Anubis or Horizon, and since you have queued up Anubis, I'm guessing Noot has decided to go to Anubis.
Yes.
All right. Should be fun.
For any substitutes.
A lot of characters got booped into environmental pits last round, but they will not have to worry about that on Anubis. Anubis is one of 2 maps in the game that has no environmental kills whatsoever, the other one being Hollywood. And that may factor into how both of these teams end up playing. I know that they have a Lucio on Adam, but they'll probably have a Lucio anyway, since for the most part it appears that both teams, well, I was about to say both teams do better in GOATs, but Chengdu actually showed a lot of promise in both GOATs and DPS comps. At the moment it's hard to say because pretty much everything they did just kept working, but we'll have to see if that sticks around.
And we will have one substitution, as I guessed before. We will have Sloth coming in for Dart. So not too surprised to see that. Sloth is an extremely high-level player. He has previous experience playing with Neglect last season. So, and he's an actual projectile DPS. They're both on. Wait, what?
Oh, that's awesome. That'll probably help a lot. Yeah, I think that's a character, a player that has more cohesion with Neglect will help a lot. We talked about how it felt like one of the problems was that Neglect was being neglected, to overuse a pun that I'm so proud of. But having somebody that knows a little bit more. That being said, a projectile DPS, their job is not usually to defend the main tank. And I noticed that he has the most time on Genji, career-wise. So we will have to see how that ends up playing out.
We did come back from the map in particular because Chengdu is apparently not ready despite saying ready.
Oh no.
Apparently, North spilled water all over his desk.
No, that is the worst. That is really sad. I'm sorry, North. I don't even see.
And North is KSG again.
Ah, yes.
He recently changed his account name. The same account, though.
R.I.P. North's SEO. But KSG, it's a cool name, too. Sounds like you'd be in the grocery aisle, and you're, like, looking at bread, and one of the bread is like, no KSG. And you're like, I don't even know what that is, but this bread doesn't have it, so it must be healthy, right? But yeah, best of luck that the Ghost Pachoniri, formerly known as North, hope that he gets that sorted out. Water and computers do not mix. They're a bit like Mentos and Pepsi, but with less explosions and more just shutting down.
Well, either way, we have 3 minutes before we go into the map regardless.
Oh no.
So he can play on his desk if he does not act quick enough. Now, let's see, I do want to check Dart's stats real fast. Yeah, he plays a little bit of projectile, a little bit of hit scan, but he seems relatively like a flex DPS. Okay, it does seem like Chengdu's ready, but it seems like Sloth is definitely a higher level projectile DPS, flex DPS, whatever you want to call it. So I wouldn't be shocked to see Noot looking more comfortable. I'd imagine Sloth is the player they wanted to play here.
All right. Maybe it'll help North's computer that we're going to Anubis. I mean, it's very dry, very desert-like. I'm sure that'll help Era's computer out in time for this match. I've always wondered what the lore behind this particular map is. Why are these two teams... You mentioned that you were a lore guy. Yeah, why is everybody assaulting this poor Egyptian place?
I have no clue. They don't talk about it. I'd have to imagine, knowing the lore, that the attacking team is canonically working for Talon or something, probably trying to get something in the Temple of Anubis itself. The Pyramid holds a god program. If you know anything about the basic Overwatch lore, they talk about the god programs they created the Omnics. And that's my best guess. Otherwise, I have no clue. They don't say anything.
All right, that's better than my guess, which is that the red team is trying to resurrect Imhotep, and Brendan Fraser is trying to stop them, and Brendan Fraser is on the blue team. Both of ours are equally likely. Yours is probably more correct than mine, though.
We do have what looks like Dive from Chengdu and standard goats from, or floats, I guess, from...
No complaints here. I love me some Dive. Because once upon a time, everyone's like, oh, please God, not more Dive. But nowadays, it's a rare sight. So it looks like they've got a Sombra. Not trying to scout in there, get some information, though they're not going to waste any time. They're going to push right in there. We don't care what the defense has. We want in. Actually...
That being said, they went back and swapped.
Interesting.
They are keeping the Ana, though. Oh, nope, they're not. Never mind.
Yeah, normally the team sends in the Sombra, but they just sent everybody in? Maybe they somehow weren't expecting goats. But...
Hard to say, in all honesty. I feel like goats is relatively standard here.
Right? Yeah, but they... Whatever they wanted, they got goats, and they
Adam
said...
almost got caught out there.
Yeah, that was dangerous. There are some very, very low health tanks.
So low. He's getting a little bit too Reddit for his own good.
You guys need to heal Ducky. She's not looking too hot. KSG is doing fine, though. Pushed in there.
Oh, no, he's not. He almost died.
I spoke too soon. My apologies, KSG.
And Ducky will get demeched here, so
All
pretty
right.
solid hold.
It was
I
solid.
would like to note that Sloth was the one punishing Adam for the most part, so immediately we're seeing his presence being felt.
Yeah, he has ultimate. He has 100% charge. He was absolutely just shredding. They didn't even see him. Look at that.
Korean wannabe. No.
Oh, the sneaks. Sneaking in there. Pandora having to commit the Transcendence already. They haven't even made it to the point yet.
They have
rally.
Yep.
Double rallies coming out. Yeah, to give everybody some health.
Oh, but Zera's getting caught out. Oh.
Oh, mirrored ults
so
again.
Ults. Oh, EOC's bomb. We'll find nothing.
All right, everything's doing good. Ducky is also going to mirror ult. Welcome to Goats, ladies and gentlemen. And boom goes the dynamite. Both Gambit and Jazza double supports going down. The crack in the armor that Chengdu needs to take this first point very, very quickly. That is going to give them, what, 7 minutes to take this next point?
Did the patch come in yet?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Amount of time? I forget if it did.
It wasn't in 2 days ago, which was when I last played comp. Oh wait, I went to E3 between then and now. I couldn't bloody tell you.
However, Chengdu has almost no ultimates that they can use to, especially since KSG is swapped off. They have effectively no ultimates that they can use to snowball this, so this is going to be quite a while.
Yeah, there's going to be no snowball. That being said, Noot doesn't have any ults online either, so everybody is going to be pushing in there. It looks like they don't care. Like, we don't need ults. We're going to push in and get our ults the old-fashioned way. And it's working. Jazza, the first one to go down. Which means that Zera is the only person on the field with a rally. Sloth.
And he sections off Korean wannabe.
Good lord, Sloth. Already has another ultimate online, not that it's helping his team much at all. Chengdu has complete control of this map. Jazza being sent back to spawn a second time. There's going to be time for a defense if they can... Nope, there isn't.
Wow, that was...
Ha. Wow, did you... So, here I go starting the map saying that, oh, you don't have to worry about boops on Anubis. But in that particular case, every hero on Chengdu that had a boop used it to knock somebody off the point. Hammond, Reinhardt, and Brigitte all attempted to stall and failed to do so, which was why Chengdu was able to take that so commandingly. 5 minutes in the time bank. They're basically going to have a second opportunity to play this map with the exact time bank they would have had otherwise. And the onus is now on Noot to equalize that amazing feat.
Definitely. I'm very curious to see what Noot will run here on offense, if it'll be goats, if it'll be any variants of goats with anything special, or if they're going to try and run Sloth on his signature Genji or Doomfist. He could definitely pull it off. I wonder if that'll work in terms of teamwork, though. Yeah,
so far Sloth has fired 2 Gravitons. They were expertly placed Gravitons, but in both cases nobody was really in a position to capitalize. Chengdu, for the first Grav, which happened where I'm staring the camera at, the Zenyatta used his Transcendence to keep Chengdu alive. It was almost not necessary since nobody but Sloth was actually firing at the Graviton. And it does appear that, speaking of Sloth and Gravitons, he will remain on Zarya, and we will be getting yet another Goats comp from Noot, whereas Chengdu has decided to go for the Bunker comp. And I am the one caster in the world who loves seeing Bunker comp, so...
I'm not sure how this is going to work out for them, though. I think with Korean Wannabe on the Bastion, it might work out. He has proved to be a very talented player, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see how this ends up playing. Bunkers are usually good at burning down the clock, but they are not good at full holds, because all it takes is for the offense to build up a bunch of ults and just sweep you. And Goats in particular is very good at that. Though at the moment everything they're doing seems to be working. Sloth building up a little bit of actually all of it, or not all of it, but he's already at 85%. And he's probably gonna get it as soon as he gets this next shield. And here they go, pushing in, trying to get. Yeah, through the little...
They really just need to take their time. Oh, EOC, though. And
oh, no. Poor AOC.
That was a bit of a sloppy. I think Neglect needs to swap off to the Reinhardt here, and otherwise the comp should be able to work, in theory.
Yeah.
They are sticking on the Winston.
No, yeah, they're going to keep it up. Sorry, Sloth. No escapes for you. Not this time.
However... let's see. Are they swapping anything up? No. Oh, okay, well, Sloth is going on the Genji.
Zero becomes the first person on the field to get his ultimate.
So I kind of like these change-ups from Noot. See if it'll work, though. The Ana in particular has a lot of potential.
Yeah, but look at how much ultimate charge they lost. The way you defeat Bunker is by using a bunch of ultimates. And if you don't have any ultimates, that just bleeds a lot more time off the clock. It's already unlikely they're going to be able to take the point as quickly as Chengdu did.
We do have Jazza coming in the backline here. If he can hack the Bastion. However, they are surrounding. He does hack the Orisa instead.
Alright, that works. And Zera equalizing with change as Bastion combos with that. Speaking of some projectile DPS, we got rockets and grenades everywhere. They turned this chokehold into a no man's land.
Yeah, unfortunately, I just don't see the Winston working out here in particular. His shield is too flimsy compared to even an Orisa, but Reinhardt would be optimal in this case. However, they do have the dive DPS, so I can see what they're trying to do, but against this composition, I don't know how well it's going to work.
Yeah, Noot just seems to be confused. Like, they're like, what do we do? Nothing we've tried has worked. This Bastion is just wrecking face. It's the Omnic Wars all over again. Damage left, right, and center. A lot of little skirmishes at the moment. Sloth managing to take down Bastion, which is nice, but the Bastion is immediately rezzed, and the rest of his team is too busy being dead to help him out with that.
Yeah, right now they really need to be focusing on the Mercy or the Baptiste. Probably the Baptiste if they could. Possibly if Jazz is comfortable with it, go to like a Widowmaker. However, that's going to be difficult with the PSG shield. So they're really between a rock and a hard place here. However, they do have EMP Blade coming up, actually EMP Nano Blade. So
yeah. Sombra has managed to make it in at half health, admittedly, but she has a good opportunity to use this EMP to give her team the opportunity, and the D.Va knows it. D.Va does not want to let Sombra go through this doorway, even though it's vital that that happens. Ooh.
Yep. And there we go.
That was a really bad EMP. All it did was hit Ducky, but it doesn't matter. Oh, look at Sloth.
That's all they needed.
Wow, good heavens. They weren't even EMP'd. He just killed him anyway. He didn't care.
Yeah, that's kind of hard when you have a Nano Blade coming right at your face.
Yeah, that must have been so nice as Sloth to get a 5k right there. And look at all the ultimates they have saved. Now this is a team that has snowball potential. I say that as they switch all their heroes off.
Well, he's probably gonna swap off Junkrat, so I
absolutely. This is a zoning ult. And there's no way. No way.
This is just to see if he can get anything.
Oh my god, he got someone. How? Zera, tell me your ways. Poor Jazza.
And, okay, Zera does swap off to the Brig. I was curious to see what he would go to.
Oh man. Alright, wow, that is a stagger from out of nowhere. Not much of one. But every second counts when you are below the time bank. I mean, look, they start this off with less time in the bank than Chengdu. And they are choosing, instead of running right through the front door, they're coming around the side. Sloth's office. He got so much work done here during the defensive part. And they have a couple ults, probably not as many ults as they would like to have on hand. Ducky does have a D.Va Bomb on hand. as soon as this push actually ends up happening. Here they go, committing the sound barrier to push in onto this point.
Yossi's gonna throw his bomb in, and
doesn't hit anyone.
Ducky's
And
bomb, however,
it's too far away. It's not going to hit anybody. And I'd say that Noot has the advantage right now, but they don't have control. There are enough people, there are enough defenders that they aren't able to just easily take this point.
Sloth is approaching a grab, however, so this is really on Sloth or Ducky or both.
Yeah, a lot riding on this Graviton, and he's been able to get these off pretty effortlessly so far.
Ooh, 3 of them are shattered.
Yeah, which once again stops them from pouring a lot of damage into that Graviton, largely negating it. Rally coming out, keeping these defenders alive. They're just bleeding time off of this block here.
Both tanks. Both tanks.
No.
Fire strikes.
This was a bad day for Reinhardt's. They're both dead. EOC getting destroyed off the point, and Gambit might be able to get out with his life, and does... Nope,
not quite.
Spoke too soon. Sorry about that.
However, Noot does manage to take a single tick here, and right now they shouldn't be worried about time bake. They should really just be worried about getting the second point total. So any progress like that is fine for them.
Yeah, at this point, they need to take the point, or else Chengdu will go up 2-0.
I'm not sure about Korean Wannabe's positioning here.
I know.
To meet him, but it was pretty risky, and it gave Sloth a lot of energy for
That's
free,
true.
basically.
Though he was able to build up an entire Graviton because he did that. He's setting himself up. He knows they're coming through this door. Immediately firing the Graviton, hitting all
Sloth.
6 of them.
That was unlucky.
Yeah, poor Sloth.
He almost fell to the other side of the wall where he would have been protected, but not quite.
Oh, they made so much of so little. Chengdu, it appears they only used 1 ultimate, Korean Wannabes. Everybody else managed to hold on to theirs, allowing them to equalize ultimates. Noot just lost whatever ultimate advantage they have pushing into this point, and considering they only have 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the clock, not a lot of time for a choke and stalemate heavy map like Anubis. Their time is running out by Muse. Ooh, but they do have 4 ultimates, and they're going to have 6 very soon. I'd say by the time of this next team fight, Noot is going to have all 6 of their ultimates online or used, which might be what the doctor ordered.
Now they are taking a different angle of approach.
That's interesting. Completely negated that Earth Shatter.
Another EOC bomb. Oh no! She didn't notice.
Yeah, that's not good. And another Earth Shatter hitting Pandora, which is good because his Transcendence is taken out of the fight now. And it looks like
need to take out these players fast though, which they're struggling with, especially Adam's Lucio.
Yeah, Korean Wannabe throwing out another Earth Shatter or another Graviton.
Adam's kind of fed right there. He kind of walked straight into Neglect's hammer.
Yep, you can afford to do that though when it's down to 30 seconds. Pandora somehow not dying despite 1v1ing a diva. And they've switched to Hammond. Got more stalling potential on a Hammond than on a Reinhardt. I can totally commit that.
Sloth has 8 health right now. Never mind, he's back up.
Good job, Sloth. Ducky has an ultimate ready, a bomb. That'll be helpful for keeping this point contested a little
Adam,
bit.
and he has prevented any percentage.
Does not manage to hit anybody. Adam dying again, but they've managed to burn this all the way down into overtime if I'm not... Yep, there we go. Ducky with the conveniently touching the point. Wick is burning down. I feel like Noot has the advantage at the moment. They should be able to take this point, but they're going to do so with no time in the bank. Sloth is going to have another Graviton ready in just a couple of seconds and hit nobody with it. All right.
They tried to get the Lucio, but it didn't quite work out.
Gravity is a harsh mistress.
Another EOC bomb.
Come on, Noot, you can take this. Look at how many. There's so much blue. Look at the kill feed. Look at the positioning. Look at how the capture time. Only like a pixel to go before they can take the entire map. But this is just a legendary stall from the Chengdu Chads. They do not want to give it up. They are forced to in the end.
However, if you're Noot here, you got to feel kind of bad about that because it was very possible if they focused up and especially focused down Adam's Lucio, they probably could have gotten that with a few seconds remaining.
Yeah, no, I could definitely
believe
it.
Now they can only draw,
which is not great considering that they're already down 1-0. But a draw is absolutely possible. Just maybe rely. It's weird to say rely on Sloth more because they've been relying a lot on Sloth. But on a number of occasions, Sloth will get his ultimate, fire it, and then like get no value from it. Like they need like protect the president, but with Sloth instead of Bastion. Or something. I don't know. He's just the one thing. He's like the one thing that's been working really. He's the Brendan Fraser on Team Blue.
Yeah. Oh, what is this? Is he? I was gonna say, is he actually going to play Doomfist on defense?
Yes.
I
Give
would love
me.
to see it, but maybe not the best idea when you have to hold for 5 minutes for one tick.
Doomfist's best defense. Look at this.
Pharah looks like a Pharah Mercy with a Widow, and what will EOC be running? I don't have very long to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not particularly set up. They're not. I mean, the Chengdu Chads, they had their entire bunker set up, and they'd already established their zip code and changed their mailing address. But at the moment, Farah and Mercy are the only two actually set up for this upcoming push, which is going to be a 2-2-2. Interesting. Korean Wannabe on Sombra. Might be sleuthing, might be sticking on Sombra. Either way, he's sent the
Gonna find
information.
that out there. That is going to need to be very careful.
Yeah. No, that's definitely true.
Well, where is Korean going? I think he's slowly figuring out that Zen is possibly there.
Yep, somebody's figured him out.
However-
He lost his translocator.
Oh no, he dropped down. Meta's in a very vulnerable position right now. And yep.
Wow, doesn't
knew it
even
was
bother
coming.
with the hack. Good lord. So that's
Doesn't
not how you
answer.
want to start your defense, by losing your Zenyatta.
Oh,
But
Jazza does get a nice pick onto Adam.
oh man, they've got a decent amount of
Uh,
equalizations,
ooh.
but not enough.
Oh, Jazza! Holy. This,
I mean, too little, too late, but you can
maybe
be
not.
happy about that.
Nope.
All right. Well, it was a valiant effort from Noot. I give them 2 Noots out of Noot, but far and away the Chengdu Chads were pretty much in control of that map the entire time. Kind of reminds me a lot of Ilios, to be honest.
Yep, and just to go to show you how much of an impact Sloth did have here on his Dragon Blade, he took out 4, I believe.
Oh yeah,
4.
no, that was crazy. And don't forget the Baptiste
even.
field. He finished that off too. Yeah, if Noot had managed to somehow magically pull that into a win, Sloth would absolutely be MVP. But they didn't. Chengdu Chads, which was more of a team effort, to be honest. I can't point to any one specific player on Chengdu, because once again, they are showing that they have a lot of great synergy as teammates. So maybe they finally found their magic sextet of players that can get them the wins they desperately need.
It is interesting to note that they have gone back to North as well. For a while, they were running Big Boy McMatt, who actually is in the lobby spectating.
Oh, interesting.
However, I guess they recently decided to go back to North. I can't really say either one of them is better than the other, but maybe North has better comms or something.
Yeah, it's possible. We'll have to see. Whatever they're doing, I'm more than willing to trust them. It's been working out so far. And Noot, once again, have to decide what map they want to go to. We have seen Control and Assault. They get to choose between 2 hybrid maps, Hollywood or Numbani. Both have their pros, both have their cons. And it is a very important map for Noot. If they lose, they are going to give up this entire series, honestly, before it's even began.
Yeah, right. This is going by much faster than I would have imagined, and going into this series, I really wasn't thinking very highly of Chengdu, and I'm not entirely sure if I still think very highly of Chengdu, because Noot is looking like their early season selves as opposed to the team. I think
it's going exactly as fast as you expected it to. You just thought it would be the other team on the other foot.
Yeah.
But this series is absolutely not over yet, and with every map, Noot learns a little bit more about how their opponent works. At the moment, they've probably learned that their opponent is very versatile. Honestly, they're reminding me of the Chengdu Hunters and how they just won't stop playing a bunch of crazy comps. And those crazy comps just keep working. And Noot, to their credit, they're not just relying entirely on goats. They're trying things up. Every time they try something that's not goats, it doesn't work, but I'll give them credit for the effort. You know what I mean? A for effort.
Okay, so it looks like Noot has chosen Hollywood
All
as
right.
the next map. They had a choice between Hollywood and Numbani.
Well, I hope you didn't miss environmental kills on Anubis, because we're now going to the other map in Overwatch that does not have environmental kills. Hollywood, very interesting map. I actually know the lore behind this one. I know that Talon, and you can correct me as I'm inevitably going to be wrong, was trying to kill Alfred Glitchbot, the famed Omnic director, and Overwatch is trying to escort them to his trailer. Am I correct about that?
I have no clue.
All right, we're committing to it. Everything I said, completely true. I didn't make it all up.
We are waiting on confirmation from Noot, but in the meantime, it is worth noting that Sloth and Sloth and Jezza have been.
Oh no, they
subbed,
got they subbed out Sloth. Why would you do that?
However, they did sub in Bun, who was another very, very talented player for Plat Chat last season.
I'm sure he was, but Sloth is Sloth. That'd be like Brendan Fraser not arriving for The Mummy 2. He was so good. Yeah. All right, Bun, you've got big shoes to fill. I'll be keeping my eye on you. I expect to see a play of the game with at least 4 kills in my office by this morning.
I believe Bun is going to be the break player here. I believe Tiny Mal will be the Zarya.
Okay. That sounds suspiciously like they'll probably be running goats. And oh, look at that. It's goats.
And I wouldn't put too much stock into what Chengdu currently has. They are attacking.
Oh, ye of little faith. That's exactly what they're going to run. Like, why wouldn't they? I mean, come on.
I would greatly enjoy seeing Zera on Wrecking Ball, but I tend to doubt it.
No, it's perfect. I mean, with Ducky on Torbjorn, it's basically like they have 7 players on their team. And we'll count it. You know, Ducky as May, Snowball counts as the 7th player. Still definitely valid. No way they're going to switch to goats at the last second. Oh look,
and they're back to
and it's goats.
Oh, no, well, they're probably going to want to scout first.
Quit playing games with my heart, Chengdu. All right, Korean doing the sleuthin', gonna eat right in the face.
That was very risky by Korean.
Hey, it worked last time. That exact thing happened on Anubis, except Zenyatta died.
Yes, however, Meta was in much worse positioning on Anubis, whereas here he was right next to Neglect, so Korean wasn't going to accomplish anything there.
Yeah, lesson learned. Actually, this is actually a rather quick push from.
Oh wow.
From the Chengdu Chads.
Really into Pandora's Volley right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And look at, oh man, these kills are coming out. This defense didn't work. It didn't work. And yeah, they're sent scrambling, sent packing. It looks like Chengdu is going to take. I mean, I don't know if they're going to be able to take the entire point, but they are going to get at least some very healthy capture time on the clock. And the fact that they are pushing so far forward is going to only help matters.
I'm definitely noticing a lack of support for Neglect, and I don't quite know how Noot fixes that. You know, maybe Neglect, I can't see their comms, can't hear their comms rather, so maybe Neglect isn't talking about running forward, they just kind of have to expect it.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, it feels like they're doing everything right. Neglect's got the orb, Brigitte keeps winging armor packs at him, but yeah, he just keeps dying.
Oh, ELC just got melted.
No.
He just threw a bomb.
Alright, that bomb didn't do too much. And, ooh. Once again, everybody biting the duck. Neglect getting a pity kill on Zera. Absolutely not the amount of kills you need to get this happening. There goes KSG, my hero. He sure cleaned up this town. And that payload gonna continue rolling. Basically hasn't stopped. Pretty much every fight so far has been a decisive Chengdu one. I would be pretty happy if I were the Chengdu, and I'd start feeling worried right about now if I were Noot.
Yeah, definitely, especially because Chengdu has 5 ults, well now 4 ults, but...
Alright, so the Graviton came out... Oh, come on. So the Graviton came out, they committed 2 support ults to keeping the team alive, and then they all die to the corresponding Diva Bomb anyway. Not the trade. Not the trades you need if you're on Noot.
That is going to be second point. There's no way they're going to contest that.
Yeah, no. But they are going to get staggered. If I'm not mistaken.
Actually, 4 of them will get, or quite a few.
Oh no! That shatter! Oh, look at the stagger. Oh, that's dirty. And so the payload was not rolling through all that, but the payload can't roll anyway. See, it just started allowing to be rolling again. So that's actually a saving grace for Noot, because that stagger basically was completely countered by the payload refusing to move because of Blizzard's game design. Getting eaten. A lot riding on Neglect's Earth Shatter right here, because they really could use like the payload to stop, ever, because it hasn't done so yet. And we're going to be committing a rally into this fight. Lot of damage, a lot of particle effects coming everywhere. This is just a crazy ballroom blitz, and good lord, every time the Chengdu Chads just push in there, they completely take out every semblance of defense. And are they just gonna? They're just gonna cap, aren't they?
Yeah, they're just gonna roll it right in.
Yo, did he just walk up and cap? That was just ridiculous. Okay, Noot, it's your turn. We expect you to take it just as quickly. The opposing team has 4.5 minutes in the time bank. You can do that, right? Okay, like if I were Noot, I don't know what I'd do at this point. I'd be like, yeah. I've tried everything. At this point,
except you almost fear that tilt is beginning to set in.
I could believe it
because that was dominant.
Yeah, no, I'd be pretty tilted. I'd be pretty salty at this point. I'd want to douse my head in this giant Goldshire Pictures water tower. But I can't.
Yeah.
This is too high.
I think what they need to do here is just clean up their comms. It doesn't seem like they're really talking at all from what I'm seeing.
They need Sloth back. I want my Sloth. I don't know why he's called Sloth. He's like the fastest dude on the field. He needs to be like Quick Sloth. He's like Slaking. Or Vigoroth. Sorry, Vigoroth is the one that moves fast. Anyway, for those of you who don't want obscure Pokemon references, they're going with Doomfist goats, maybe, kind of, not really. 2-2-2.
They're doing well. I wouldn't hold them to that too much. They're on attack.
It's not working, Noot. Don't try goats. Just do something like completely Charlie Brown out of town. I want to see protect the president.
So we have a very interesting comp coming out from Chengdu here. It's reminiscent of what we're seeing in a lot of contenders right now, especially contenders Korea, specifically Element Mystic. Now this composition shouldn't work on paper.
No meta.
No, he gets the armor pack.
He had protection that time. It was so close though. Korean wannabe almost took him out.
He does get EOC.
Yeah.
So,
no May. Not sure why there was a May in the first place, but now there isn't one. And yeah, no, that. So the very first failed push of the map it just happened, and it was the first push of Noot. So Neglect firing out one of those Reinhardt projectiles.
Realistically, here what they need to do is push in a little bit, back up, wait for Zera to jump in, and punish him right now. Right now is when they need to punish him, but they can't.
Oh. And yeah, no, they're trying, but they were not able to do so. They punished. Noot got punished.
Zera's extremely far in. They really should be capable of punishing Zera. They're letting him get away with far too much here. It really shouldn't be that difficult to just turn around and everyone focus on him. Doesn't matter if he has Zarya Bubble, you're going to burn him down instantaneously. He's just going to die. Especially with all the you have.
I can feel bad for them. It happens. I have a really hard time. I'm just kill the Doomfist, and just nobody can do it. Oh, that EMP. Oh, look at that. Hit everybody. Everybody. Gambit. Bun. The whole enchilada getting taken out. Back to spawn with all of you. Chengdu Chad saying, hey, don't forget to group up. Here, we'll help you out. You can group up and spawn. And then you can all 6 of us attack on this next push. Korean wannabe. Slinking around in the back lines. Insert Jaws music. She's coming for that meta 69. No.
No, but Gambit does catch him.
It's probably annoying as all heck, though.
And Gambit does get caught out. We do see a Space Jam, but they don't get anything for it.
Ooh, there we go. Oh, countered by Adam's sound barrier. Good job, Adam. Damage, left, right, center. Zera finally dying. I finally noticed the kill feed. Go me. Diva ult on point.
Oh, Pandora.
Oh, I thought Pandora was safe. All right. But they're not in a position at all, like even remotely, to capitalize on that.
Oh,
Ducky.
Korean wannabe. Kind of fed there. He should have gotten out sooner.
All right.
Now's their chance.
Yeah, no.
Zera.
Trying to push in there. They're stuck in this cafe at the moment. Finally getting some capture time on this payload. Alfred Glitchbot may finally be moving, but he is not going to move for free. They're pushing in right back onto the point, going to hold on to them. A Graviton coming out with an EMP to try to keep them alive. That was actually really good timing on the sound barrier there because it was after the EMP, not before.
Neglect coming alive right now.
Finally.
And he will get 5 kills, and Meta will deny him the 6K.
Heavens to Betsy. He didn't even need to use his ult. He's holding on to it. He's going to get that going forward.
And I think that push in particular shows that this is possible. Chengdu isn't playing especially great here. You do have some standout players in Ducky and Korean Wannabe, but they are extremely exploitable, and they are still the same team that is in 6th place right now. Noot just needs to focus up, and I think it's because they picked up so many new players like Gambit. They recently picked up Sloth as well, so I think they're just figuring out their comms right now, and this is not the game to be doing it.
Oh,
We have another Slam Jam coming in. Won't get anything.
yeah, not really. Neglect is going to fall, though, which was all that they needed to push in, because there's no shield to hide behind. The rest of the team is going to fall. Nice little push. I mean, they managed to take the payload, like you said. They managed to push through this chokehold. And the spawn advantage is certainly theirs at the moment. It's going to be a while before the defense has the spawn advantage. For the time being, they should definitely still be able to get some forward progress on this payload.
So basically what I want to see here is two things. Meta playing corners safely and carefully, unlike he's doing right now, so that he can avoid the Doomfits, because you're not playing Ghosts right now. And I also want to see EOC peel very, very hard for Meta.
Right. Oh.
But right now we're just seeing Zera bully Meta.
Is that what you wanted to see? An Earth Shatter hitting everybody, and everybody on Noot getting stomped except Meta, who looks like is going to get out with his life.
As will Gambit. In the meantime, EOC is getting staggered. So Noot right now is playing this as if they were playing Goats, or as if Chengdu is playing Goats.
Right.
And they're really not. They need to swap up their playstyle. They can play Goats into this, because realistically this only works against teams with bad communication, and unfortunately that is Noot right now. But it's very easily fixable.
Yeah.
We do have an EMP coming in right now, though, so...
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be able to fix it quickly enough. And like you said, we are almost certainly going to see an EMP very soon. Here it comes, hitting everybody. Look at that. Hits almost everybody who wasn't already dead. And that was all the doctor ordered. No other... Well, I guess Pandora used an ultimate. But other than that, they're going to get to hold on to them. And the only silver lining is because everybody died in the EMP, they didn't commit their ults. Meaning that Noot is going to have 6 ultimates pushing into this next point, contesting only 3 ultimates on the defensive side. So they definitely should at least be able to keep this going into overtime. And here comes the first ultimate. Alright, the Transcendence was relatively countered by that Ana grenade. Lots of damage coming left. Oh, wow.
Shatter.
Diva Bomb coming in. And managing to hit Pandora.
Realistically, this should go in favor of Noots. The only one there is Adam.
Yeah, no, they were able to finish off the defense, but they are going to be capturing in overtime if they capture it all.
However, I do want to point out what is probably going to end this map and the series in favor of Chengdu is Korean Wannabe is very close to an EMP right now.
Oh, dear.
He can just wait until the card's coming around that last corner and EMP, and then they team wipe, and that's it for Noot. So they need to be very careful. They need to play around this EMP.
We'll have to see.
They are not doing right now with their positioning.
No, here comes the EMP.
Meta
And here come the kills. Not like this. Oh no, EOC is the last man standing, but not for particularly long. There's not to reason why. There's not to make reply. There's but to do and die.
Team kill.
Into the valley of Chengdu rides this series.
And if you're Noot, you gotta feel really bad, because that was extremely avoidable. Like I said before, Chengdu wasn't playing that especially spectacular. Noot was just playing worse.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the pajama slam or whatever you called it. I liked whatever your term was better than mine.
Jam?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, cause
oh man,
that's a relatively old term nowadays.
Yeah, man, it's just because you never see Doomfist anywhere.
Yeah. Alright, and we do have one more map.
Yep.
Which will be a choice between Dorado and Junkertown.
Yep, we always play all the maps, even if one team has won, which one team has. Chengdu commandingly sweeping the beginning of this entire round, 3-0. Hoping for a 4-0. They need it. They definitely would like to start rising up and stop being the lowest seeded team in the bracket, and this is absolutely the way that you would start to do that. Noot on their own, they'd like some saving grace. They don't want to, just as much as Chengdu wants a 4-0, Noot does not want a 0-4. And it looks like they have decided that they do not want to go to Junkertown. They want to go to Dorado, which I can respect. If in real life I had to choose one of those two maps to go on vacation to, I'd probably also pick Dorado. And not just because there's pinatas full of candy.
I'm sure the latent radioactivity in Junkertown would also cause a damper for the day. But anyways, we are waiting to see if there are any substitutes. And realistically, you could see some DPS here.
Don't feel any rush to jump into the map, Noot. You have 5 whole minutes before we force you into the map. It's time to start talking, figuring out, hey guys, what are we not trying? Like bringing Sloth back in. Sorry, something in my throat. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of different things that they can try going into this Dorado. I mean, they've gotten to choose every single map. Chengdu, for their part, they seem happy. They're sitting pretty. They've won the series. Right. It's time to relax. But not completely. Like I said, it's very important that they get a positive, like a 4-0 is way more important for them than a 3-1 as they claw their way back up to the upper brackets.
And they definitely have a long way to go.
Yep.
They have by far the worst map differential, and I believe depending on how the other matches tonight play out, they might be able to squeeze their way into 5th place. But I'm not entirely certain about that. They might still be stuck in 6th for a couple more weeks.
Right. 5th place, that's the dream. And if it's going to happen, it's going to happen here. Buen viaje a Dorado. That was not fake Spanish. It was fake Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. Lots of graffiti. Don't need to go talking about the lore. I'm sure there's some really great lore involving Sombra and whatever electric company owns all those ziggurats.
I have zero clue about the lore of this map. Some maps are easy, some maps are just kind of like, they exist.
Exactly. Like Blizzard World. Like, is there lore behind Blizzard World? I'm pretty sure Blizzard World is just having fun. I don't even know if it's canon.
I don't believe it is canon. I think it's just paying homage to all the other IPs of Blizzard in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I'd do that if I were Blizzard. I mean, that's pretty fun. Who wouldn't want their own Disneyland, but full of their own IPs?
I would go to a real-life Blizzard world.
Right? Dude, I absolutely would.
And it looks like we're going to see goats, cyber goats, and snoats.
Yay.
Although they might swap off cyber goats, depending.
Yep, all the oats, left, right, and center. Payload, once again, moving. Dorado. Dorado is a very steamrolly map.
Wait, we have DPS.
Oh, wow. Making some changes. Who dat? It's Pharah.
Mercy,
My God, that's Pharah's music. Pharah and Mercy flying around the top, pepper and damage. It worked for them on Ilios. Poor Meta 69. It has not been his map, or his entire series. Noot. Hey, Noot. There's a Pharah above you. Noot. Look at the damage that they're just pouring out.
Ooh.
Have a nice flight, Gambit. And then they managed to kill KSG, and then Pandora just resurrects him back up just for good measure. Probably didn't even need it. The DPS just getting so much damage out. They're probably going to take this point. I don't think the defense has any opportunity to block this.
No, this is definitely going to be first point.
Wow. 5 minutes and 30 seconds pushing into point B.
Oh, and we do see some DPS coming out from Noot as well. Bun on his famous Hanzo, probably his best hero, period.
Nice. I can respect that. They need to counter this Pharah. I'm not sure if Hanzo, does that. He kind of does, but it's pretty hard, I wager. Oh, they got a McCree. McCree is a lot more of a Pharah counter than Hanzo is. Neglect is pushed very far forward. Only a Mei with him, as the rest of the team pushes rather far back. Uh-oh.
Oh, the stun came out, but it didn't
Still got him.
Oh, Bun!
Wow.
That was nasty.
I thought Korean was screwed there, but he actually managed to get 2 kills, assist a third before Bun shoots him in the head, just like what happened last time Genji and Hanzo fought. But it's too little too late. And this payload, it's just continuing to roll along. EOC does have a Mei ult, and she's hiding behind enemy lines like Private Ryan, only with a blizzard and the snow at his command. And she's probably going to be dropping that relatively soon. I don't think they want to lose second as quickly as they lost first. Oh, Justice raining from above. Poor Neglect. Bun getting punched to the face. The blizzard's coming out. Is anybody in a position to actually capitalize on it? Oh, this high noon.
Oh!
Whoa.
He walked right into that.
Oh, Korean wannabe, that was amazing. I love you. There's nothing better than being a Genji and killing someone with their own ult. I mean, he is such a great hero. I wish I knew how to play him.
EOC swapping over to the Hog here. Hog Winston. That is an interest. Okay, so we do see.
It's going to be tough. I mean, they just lost a bunch of ultimate charge, and they lost poor Tiny Moo. Rest in pieces, Tiny Moo. Look at Zera. They haven't. I mean, Hanzo killed Zera once. Other than that, he's just been flying the skies, just cruising, racking up those miles for Southwest.
Bun is on the Doomfist now. I didn't even notice that swap.
I think they're
It
just.
looks like he's going to get sectioned off now.
Yeah, I think they're just throwing things
actually.
Oh, Adam, why? Oh, there we go. No longer flying the friendly skies, Tiny Moo avenging himself, if I'm not mistaken, and killing off Pharah. And it looks like finally this payload is going to stop.
Might be the first time not only this map, but the entire series
I
that the
know.
payload has stopped.
Well, better late than never, I suppose.
Yeah. Would have liked to see a little bit of a closer match, though. I think this could have been much better, more nail-biting going into this. But regardless, I guess we can see some DPS going into...
Right now, the nail-biting is whether Chengdu's going to capture with 2 minutes left or 3. Here they are pushing onto the point one more time. Tiny Moo, look out! There's a Widow. Committing the sound barrier just in time for a Diva ult, which is going to kill Neglect anyway. Okay, awesome. Meta is the only person with an ultimate at the moment, which is definitely favoring Chengdu, because Chengdu has shown that they don't need ultimates to kill the other team. They can do whatever they want with whatever they got. So I don't know if this counts as spawn camping, but it's close. They have wall hacks on, because why not? Let's see wherever the enemy is, because we know they're not on the payload.
Oh, Tiny Moo.
There we go. Tiny Moo is getting frazzled by Adam the Lucio and is tired of this. Alright, as much fun as it is watching that. And it looks like while that was going on, I was distracted watching a Widow Lucio fight, because I get very invested in those, because that's what I play. Oh, Gambit finishing off Ducky. No more straggling for you. 2 minutes and 54 seconds left. There are 3 minutes, a very healthy amount of time. I wouldn't be too fussed.
Oh, Tiny Moo. I think Widow might be his comfort pick.
Yeah.
He has been really popping off on this hero more than he has at all.
Finally.
This.
Sorry, that was harsh. You're doing a very good job, Tiny Moo. You're definitely... You've basically single-handedly countered a single push. Though you may be visiting Doomfist in the next 3 seconds.
No, Bun had to use the Meteor Strike to get out safely.
Fair enough.
Not exactly what you want, but...
Yeah.
I suppose it's better than dying.
Here it comes. Here comes the next push. Damage coming left and right. Not quite as... The Chengdu, they've just been swaggering in there. And they're going to do that once again with KSG. Probably going to be busting out that... there we go. Poor Meta 69.
Blind. Chases down the Widowmaker.
Uh-oh. There's a lot of red in the kill feed, Acronator. I don't know if we're going to be seeing much more of this half of the map. Bye, Roadhog.
The defense does have advantage here. And Tiny Moo is on a very good stall hero in Tracer.
Yep, that is a good point. That does mean they aren't going to have Tiny Moo on Widowmaker, who was doing just a lot of work on her own.
Oh.
Gambit, you were so close to getting away from that. I saw that. He almost wall-rided away. Wall-rid.
And now we're seeing a full stall pick here.
Yeah, absolutely. 150%
actually
stall.
does take down the Ana. That's actually quite a large pick there.
Yeah, every pick as a defender at this stage in the map is huge. It makes it so much less likely that the map is going to be completed.
They still haven't taken out Neglect. They finally do, but
Alright, one more.
there's a lot more stall potential here.
Meta on Soldier. Soldier is a character in this game. Bun trying to do what he can. That's all she wrote. And they are going to complete the map.
In all honesty, not a terrible stall.
Yeah.
That is definitely beatable, which is, I think, the first time we can say that for Noot.
Yep.
They just need to play it smart.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and more importantly, preventing your opponent from walking 1,000 miles quickly. And in that case, it took them all the way down to 1 minute left on the clock. So like you said, absolutely winnable. It's going to be up to them to get things to work in their favor. Because what I'm worried about is just that historically they have not had the greatest success on offense. I mean, if we look at Control, the control map is basically just offense, like all the time, because they never got to play defense because they never touched the point. At one point, they captured the point and almost immediately fell like a house of cards. So I'm just not sure, because they just historically have had some serious trouble with offense in this series.
Yeah, I think they don't quite know what, in particular, their DPS lineup they want to run. They've been swapping that a lot, in particular, this match. I think, knowing their flexibility, I would almost dare to say that Bun and Sloth would be their strongest two. However, they do have a lot of overlapping hero pools. Traditionally, they're both projectile DPS. However, Bun can flex onto the Tracer, to the Widowmaker. Bun is more of like a universal flex.
Right.
So I don't know if, having Sloth on that Zarya, 4 goats, and then Bun is obviously their best Brigitte player. So I would almost want to see them experiment with that lineup. Unfortunately, we won't get to see it tonight, but maybe in the future.
Sloth was huge on Anubis. I'm really bummed that was the only map we got to see him, because he was shredding face. But actually, it looks like the Chengdu is going to push all... They're going to hold up on this balcony. They're going to give a bunch of free capture time away. But, that is going to make it so that they get to choose the battleground. Forces the opponent to fight them on their own terms.
In fact, they're already rotating around.
Yep, Tiny Moo trying to push in there. Tiny Moo came alive the last half of Dorado. That was actually quite nice to see.
Oh, Bun almost took out Pandora there.
Oh, yep, Korean going down. Meta 69 finally getting some kills. Probably appreciates playing a big tanky mofo and not having to die every 5 seconds.
Bun was halfway through his recall animation there when Adam took him.
No. Oh man. All right, but you know what? This is actually quite good. Noot is pushing very quickly. This is the speed that they need if they want to have a hope of taking this map. Though just as I said that, the defense came alive.
Yeah, they kind of backed up a bit too much there for what Chengdu was running.
Hide
They
Meta.
should have just stood their ground.
Meta's hoping they don't see him. Maybe he wishes he was a Zenyatta right now. But actually, big, bulky Roadhog managed to get out with his life and prepare. Regroup with the team.
What is happening right now?
Where is Bun? Oh, Bun is right in the center. I heard Widow shots coming from somewhere. And right now, offense. Not getting anything to work. Oh no, poor Gambit. Rest in pieces, Gambit.
It is worth noting that I think Noot is either completely memeing and having fun, or has completely tilted because they are not running a main tank.
Oh, that's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. Poor Tiny Moo. Who's got something? Meta's got something. Here we go. We got the ult. It's unsurprisingly not going to do much. 1 minute and 51 seconds. Probably the last 1 minute and 51 seconds of this match. Don't have high hopes. Ooh. Neglect pulling some Mei shenanigans. Actually managing to freeze Ducky. R.I.P. Bun. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say right here. Isolated skirmishes left and right. 1v1s, 1v2s, 1vx, where X is the number of Chengdu players required to win the fight.
Well, in this case, it's pretty much one. Period.
Here's a 1v6.
1v1s.
Do it, Neglect. I believe in you. Aw. Yeah, no, this is pretty commanding. We've got
Noot
the
is pretty much thrown in the towel at this point.
we've got the Virgin Noot versus the Chads. I heard an ulting Tiny Moo, but I wasn't even able to switch to him in time before he got eliminated. Who's got ult? Who's got ult? Ducky's got one. Pandora's got one. I don't know if they're gonna need them. They could probably whiff their ults right now and still have no trouble whatsoever completing this fight 4-0.
So realistically, I think there's not much more to talk about unless some big plays are made.
Do you count that as a big play? Ducky taking out Tiny Moo and just a free transcendence on top of that. Gambit getting completely destroyed. Poor Gambit. I almost count that as a stagger. He was killed so late. Tiny Moo switching over to Widow. I can respect that. He did a lot of work on Widow in the second half of Dorado. Probably too little too late, but, every bit helps.
So realistically, what could Noot have done differently? Maybe not just here, but like in the entire series.
Oh no, poor Tiny Moo just got Goomba stomped. So realistically, we're going to be able to talk about this imminently because we are in overtime. I don't even see anybody in a position to touch the overtime cart. Korean ate a pulse bomb, but he is going to enjoy victory from spawn. There's a soldier there for a second. So, to answer your question, I feel like, one, they needed to protect Neglect more. Neglect was constantly getting destroyed. They also needed to protect Meta 69 more. Meta was also constantly getting destroyed. And it's not even a case of protect your tanks and healers, because they were protecting their tanks and healers. They just weren't protecting Neglect and Meta, who were Zenyatta and Reinhardt respectively. Those are some relatively important heroes, and it's way more useful to have them alive than dead. And they spent most of the map dead and not alive.
Yeah, I think... And I hesitate to say this, but this almost feels like watching Rio 4-0 bot burgers in week 1, where I don't quite know how impressive Chengdu really is here, because Noot looks like a very weak opponent right now. It looks like a communication issue, it looks like individual play issue in terms of positioning, but there definitely were standout players like Ducky, like Korean Wannabe, but that being said, I think a lot of these strategies they were playing were very exploitable.
Yeah.
So I think if Noot really just showed up here with a plan, as opposed to just kind of playing quick play, I think they very easily could have dismantled Chengdu entirely.
Yeah, and we can't really talk about Dorado because I think you're right. They were pretty much throwing by the end there out of frustration, and I don't blame them. I mean, they tried literally everything. Like I think 6 DPS was the only comp I can think of they didn't try at some point. Though they didn't have a main tank at one point in there, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
So not even counting that map, counting the ones where they were actually trying, they did everything they could, but nothing stuck. And so what else are you supposed to do?
Yeah, difficult decisions I think will have to be made in terms of Noot, not so much in like dropping players or anything that severe, but like what plan they want for the maps going into, this half of the season, this new map pool, and particularly what people they start to play.
Also, play more Sloth. He was awesome. Like, dude, that guy was shredding on Zarya and Genji. It was amazing. I wanted more Sloth.
Okay.
I feel robbed. We're getting requests in the chat to interview Adam, and I can absolutely back that up. He was a great Lucio. Lots of great sound barriers. Not as many boops, but that was probably because they were picking nothing but maps without boops. So all things considered, I'd be down to interview Adam for this particular one.
I am checking with him right now. Zara wants it, but let's see if Adam...
Zara. Oh yeah, Zara was Doomfist. That was pretty entertaining too.
I am not getting anything.
If he's not replying, then Zara wants it.
Okay. So we're gonna drag Zara in. Let me just find him. I believe that's it. Okay, yeah, he is... What are we, custom booth 2?
I don't know. I can't remember. I just joined whichever one you were on. 2. Okay.
Move 2, casting booth 2.
Hello?
Hello.
Is that
dude.
Is that Zara?
Chosen. Yep, that's me.
The man, the fist, the legend.
The fist. Let's go, dude.
You were so entertaining, my dude. You were just flying in there like a bat out of hell.
Thank you, dude. Holy shit. I can... Wait, can I say that?
No, this is a Christian tournament, please.
This is a Christian Minecraft server,
I'm,
please.
I'm 12 and I gotta get to bed for school, so.
But yes, congratulations on the win. It was good to see you play some actual DPS, especially your signature Pharah. A little bit of Doomfist, taking a little bit of that Element Mystic, whatever comp they call it nowadays, the Rein Zarya, Doom, Sombra, etc., etc.
Is that really? Is there a name for that comp?
Man, yeah, Hackfist.
Hackfist, yes.
Hackfist. Oh my god.
I mean, when you have Sparkle, you gotta run Doomfist. And apparently when you have Zera, you gotta run Doomfist.
Let's go, dude.
That was gonna be my first question. Was what inspired the Doomfist? That's such a crazy character, and you weren't even doing it when the round was over. Like you had him all the way as early as. Did you first play Doom on Hollywood?
I played Doom on defense.
Yeah, that's.
yeah.
I mean, that's. I'm under the impression that that's gutsy. I never really see Doomfist unless you're stalling for the last 5 seconds of overtime. I mean, that's a lot of
Yeah.
Doomfist. What inspired that comp?
Well, we know a lot of teams haven't been prepared for Hackfist, and we know Hackfist isn't really known, but it you've seen it in Korean contenders. It works. Pop off on it, and I mean, I guess just with Korean, he has a really good Sombra. He makes a lot of space for me on that Sombra, and so I mean, I was allowed to pop off on Doom basically, because we know that teams haven't been preparing for it. They've just been kind of playing goats or bunker, and so we were inspired to try out the Hackfist, and it worked.
All right,
nice.
all right. And I do have a question for you. Coming into this week, a lot of the previous matches, you've been swapping out a lot of people here and there into the starting roster. Do you think this roster that we saw tonight will be more of the starting 6 as standard that you guys run?
Yeah, of course. I think this roster's this is what we needed. Korean, he's an insane player, insane hit scan. Adam, his Lucio's always been crazy, I mean, Pandora, he's new talent. His comms are very well. And then, I feel like we have our pieces and we're ready to pop off.
All right.
Yeah, you guys
Unless you have any more
definitely had very, very good communication, and we could just tell as we were watching the maps that you guys were really in tune with each other. Lots of comboed ults, lots of times that somebody was in the right position. But I do want to ask, how much of your victory would you chalk up to you guys making the right calls, and how much was your opponent making mistakes?
Honestly, I think it's just we've been practicing a lot, we've been scrimming a lot, so we're able to capitalize on mistakes. Our opponents didn't put enough resources into neglect, so we were able to just pocket KSG, and then we just went in and rolled, steamrolled. Their biggest mistake was not supporting neglect enough. And I mean, Baz is an insane Lucio player. I would say one of the best in the league, but he wasn't there. So that support of such a high level player like Baz wasn't there to where we could just stomp.
Okay.
Neglect.
And stomp you did.
Yeah.
So congratulations one last time on that win, and I will be talking to your team shortly for the MVP vote and all that.
Yeah.
Dude, I played 5 matches, bro, please.
Thank you so much for coming in. Yeah, and thank you to everybody who came in to watch another exciting match. 4-0 League, first match of Week 6. I loved casting it. I think Acronator loved casting it. Any final words before we round this stream off, Acronator?
I think Chengdu prove themselves to at least be 5th place, maybe 4th place if they're pushing it. I do want to see them play against a stronger opponent and still prove that dominant if they want to work their way up even further, but definitely not the worst team in the entire league right now.
Oh man, I'm so excited to see them for their next match. I mean, it's like Zera said, they found it. They found the comp they were looking for. It can be so hard when you're trying to find the right comp and just things aren't working, but they got it now. And yeah, the big test, it's going to come up with whoever they play against next. I think they're more than ready for it. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to get 5th place, and I don't think they're going to stop there. So once again, thank you everybody who joined us for the stream. Big, super big thank you to Daniel Metal and Surmay, my 2 subscribers. And I hope you all have a great rest of whatever day of the week it is. Looks like it's Saturday. And I will see you all in the next stream.